Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever it is, whenever it is, wherever you are. You are watching Speed Gaming for another A Link to the Past Randomizer Main Tournament 2022 Group Stage match. Today on commentary, I am Eli Ministik, joined today by Brogar. How you doing today, Brogar?
Yeah, I'm doing fine. Thanks for having me. It's my debut, so I'm trying to give my best with you, and I'm looking forward to this match because this is a very interesting group. There's everything possible for everyone still alive there. Yeah, looking forward to it.
Yeah, definitely glad to have you along for this inverted key sanity adventure. Of course, flute start, as you can see on their inventories and trackers. Hayfield Bay here versus Magno, or Magno versus Hayfield Bay, whichever left-right preference you prefer. Group N here, very up in the air at the moment. 2 wins is the most in this group, and we're getting started. Brogar, why don't you tell us a little bit about this inverted key sanity setup?
Yeah, let's talk about the vicinity. Right. So we are starting with the activated flute in this mode. So we see here the play of Hayfield and Magno both going to the Mire area to dodge the red murder ducktail. And yeah, it's 2 quick checks and the Mire shed here. And we have a quick medallion for Mr. Mire. Yeah, that's quite the, I would say, convenient start here. You can get those 2 chests and maybe get bombs here, so you can immediately follow up with a high cave play, or even go to Thieves Town very quickly before that and do the brewery and the full route. But I guess high cave it is, and we may get the money for the rest. So yeah, quite enjoyable start.
Not only that, but we get a bottle to start with a fairy. I get the feeling with this inverted start being a bit spicier than your average flavor of A Link to the Past randomizer. That fairy won't last very long.
Yeah, I agree. Oh, Magno has a good thing here going on. He did the pre-pull here because I think it's Moglin, right? He run in the bomb, so you can get the pre-pull of that stature there, and you also get a full magic you didn't collect. I'm not sure.
Yeah, taking advantage of enemy deaths nearby, definitely a smart strategy. That statue normally doesn't see a lot of use. We definitely see it in inverted, though.
Yeah, if you don't get one of those guys killed without weapons, it's hard anyway, and they also can be quite interfering when you try to pull the stature. Yeah, but Hype Cave had like Skywoods and Turtle Rock map and the Hot Smoky, I think. Yeah.
Yes. Well, the maps you would normally think in most game modes, oh great, I don't really need these that much, but in a 7-7 open Ganon inverted, you absolutely do want those maps. You don't want to be doing any extra dungeons, let alone in key sanity. The compasses
Definitely, yeah.
could be useful if we were doing a boss mode. We'll still see them on the map if you pull it up, but they're all vanilla bosses in this format.
Yeah, I recall. Yeah, Magno get a bit lucky here with 2 bombs at the brewery. This is also sometimes the start of some players going right into Thieves Town and checking the brewery for the bombs. Yeah, but we got the bombs earlier, and now we got gloves.
Yeah, Power Glove early on, a great find in inverted. You really want to get to Titan's Mitts as soon as possible. Um,
Nice.
Well, if you wanted to, you could
What
get
is
a
the
hand
lottery
if you come in
numbers for
there.
this week?
216. Yeah. I swear, it's
That's not the
216 only.
commentator's curse, I guess. You are the commentator's blessing, I guess.
I may
Not
actually
bad,
run
not
some
bad.
numbers later.
But actually, we have to say this is kind of also not so nice to have before the Moon Pearl, because with MIDS and the activated flute, we now can go in the light world without being locked by bushes and stones at the flute 6 point, and we can immediately go to Desert Palace area, to the desert, yeah, and there we can bunny walk a lot.
Unfortunate for Magno, trying to save the save and quit led to the fairy revival here in Thieves Town. He's intentionally going for a death ward. It happens. You don't play a lot of inverted outside of this unless you really love inverted, and it's pretty easy to forget about a fairy.
Yeah, it's the little curse of getting that 20 rupees. So we had that 30 rupees to directly pay the chess game and forgetting the ferry. It's a bit unfortunate, but it happens.
So, as is the trend in most inverted seeds, we are mostly weaponless. A bomb or two to our names. Hayfield Bay, not deterred, gonna go right into Skullwoods.
Yeah, that's definitely a thing everyone here who participates in this tournament has to take into consideration of relearn or add to their move pool, because as you see, no weapon makes the jellies a bit different, and thus the Gyptos are completely out of sync. And yeah, but Hayfield does a super amazing job here. He may even take that magic. No, he's not. Oh,
Well, a hammer is a great weapon to find here.
yep.
Unfortunately, we still can't access the boss, but we do have a weapon we could kill it with if we... Oh gosh, we need a sword to get back there too, don't we?
Yeah, we do need the sword, and thus also the fire rod and the 3 small keys to bring the Mothula in logic. Yeah, but on the other hand, we see a good arrow game here. Full 104 rupees, I think, or 124 rupees claimed, and Magno rushing maybe to the chest digging game and then straight into pot maybe with the small key. I don't know.
Yeah, the unfortunate part of this route is that Magno will not have that hammer from the middle of Skull Woods, which really is the ultimate... How about that? You dig up a shovel.
It's starting to be a funny seat already, right?
Well, call a spade if you're going to use a spade. Magno probably not going to get an opportunity to truly dig an item out of that anytime soon. But we'll end up walking over here to Stumpy, it looks like.
I'm not sure if this is faster. I think that maybe it was just shortly forgotten and then realized, oh crap, I have to go to Stumpy.
You know, I mean, I'd be in shock myself if that happened. I don't think I've ever dug up a shovel before, but there's the fire rod.
Didn't you say we can kill the boss? Oh, no, we need a sword.
But we're getting close. I mean,
We're getting closer.
forget about keys that you're supposed to logically have. You could potentially get there pretty soon.
And this is the Mire big key. Yeah,
that's a really good
interesting.
find.
You definitely want to see that Moonpearl as quickly as possible now with that myths. You don't want to be looking in all the flippers on Catfish, also quite, I don't know, French vanilla-likey.
Yeah, trying to hold true to that inverted, I guess, sentimentality. Catfish certainly, I would be amazed and stupefied if we found a Quake on Zora. That would be too good.
Yeah, the first shoutouts for Ice Palace already arriving us here. Yeah, I mean, the Fire Rod, the Hammer.
Yeah, and something to remember about Inverted, you can enter Ice Palace from the Dark World overworld, and with those flippers, you logically have a way to get there. Pyramid here not going to be too valuable, but when you're short on rupees and you need to get into pot at some point, I guess you take them.
Yeah, but not having a lot of rupees and maybe a bit not having Ice Palace yet in logic directly makes Hayfield go here. So he won't miss that, flippers.
Yeah, so a fair few of the more important navigation items kind of already found here. I guess the Mire itself, the Moon Pearl, of course, and Hookshot. And we don't really have a whole lot more quality of life stuff to consider. You'd think that they were spoiled by the activated flute, but we're really not too worried about getting places pretty soon.
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword, right? You have a bit convenience with that flute, but it also makes awful checks in logic, like the mountain, for example. And given if you can self-damage yourself with the bomb here when you cross the bridge, you can skip the line. It's quite good, but sometimes they also can be a bit nasty, especially if the first Lionel here goes southwards and shoots you from behind. But this looks like a good bomb setup. Yep, very well done.
Excellent damage boost. Great way to avoid the excess damage there. So we'll get to see a scout here of Turtle Rock Entrance. We had Quake for Mr. Mire. It's also Quake.
Yep.
And of course, we did see that what is traditionally GT's entrance, Gan's Tower, is open. That's because that is actually Aghanim's Tower in inverted, and the inverse is true, I guess. where GT is actually at Hyrule Castle Tower.
True. This is like something that confuses the most players the first time playing this mode. But yeah, you get used to it. So we just seen a lamp, and we also have that hammer on Hayfield. So the first item in Aga Tower would also be nicely unclaimable for him. But it's decided that the uncle is the first thing to do here. The old man, not the uncle.
Yeah, that's definitely a time investment to do. I mean, you can definitely get that first chest. You don't need any keys. They will probably want 2 keys at some point if they ever plan on returning. But an old man return will definitely get you a save and quit point. So Hayfield Bay taking the long play here. This, of course, is Hayfield Bay's bunny sprite.
The thing about the old man is it's a bit nasty. It takes forever. But if you do not do it now, are you doing it ever? That's the thing. Magno does a nice little setup with the menu buffer here to dodge the evil Moldorms there, and just barely makes it through this whole encounter. Okay, nice.
Of course, here's one
a
of those
nice
bridges.
Smolky here, I guess, maybe. Oh, Hyrule Castle, never mind.
That's a fun place for that key after we just left it, and that's a shot.
That's so good for Hayfield to follow the uncle and then go up the mountain here. So Magno just ditched the hookshot cave like for a long time. Oh, maybe not. Yeah, but yeah, he will find the hookshot now.
Well, I think we can definitely agree that Hayfield is definitely starting to pull things together with that acquisition. We have quite a few of the major important progressive items in one fell swoop. So Hayfield off to a great start.
Definitely.
And just to recap the series so far in this group, Group N, Hayfield has gone 1-2 so far. One of the losses so far against Magno here, who he's racing against today. The other against Late Bit, where Hayfield actually went 1-1 in that particular heads up. Magno here has only raced twice so far in groups and is currently undefeated. So statistically on the top, but with quite a few less games played.
Exactly. But given the whole situation in that group, it's like mentioned earlier, everyone can like 1-1 each other here, and we would have like the biggest tiebreaker in this tournament probably.
Yeah,
but this is a
one win away.
Oh, and there's the Mario. Okay. And the Quake. Okay. Oh, this could make the Fire Rod now very, very, very strong there on Hayfield's side.
Yeah, I was about to say this almost seemed like a Turtle Rock starter pack, and I'd be very surprised to see Hayfield not at least consider going in. Not that you can finish the boss or anything, but most of the dungeons technically doable.
Yeah, just we already have the lamp found here, so yeah, now we also get all the way down to Witty, because there's no smoky logic in there, and yeah.
I see the chat has reminded me of my own shortcomings. You still need a sword to activate Quake. That's my bad.
Oh, but yeah, true.
Revisiting it will look more appealing.
We kind of dodged that sword, yeah. We were talking about the sword in Skyward's earlier, so it made it in our minds there.
I appreciate the coverage there. But Magno is still on the mountain. Hayfield has left. Hayfield has better things to do, has done pretty much everything on the mountain that's worth doing for now. That Hyrule Castle key might be interesting later, but we do have other ways to get to the Light World. So I guess the big remaining question is, where is this Moon Pearl?
Yeah, definitely.
I'm
just thinking about what is in logic, actually, because if you usually play like entrances modes, there's not so much that where it could be, but in this mode, oof. I think you can go to the uncle, the bottle merchant. I don't know, can you open the chest in Hyrule Castle, first one?
Yeah, and Magno not going to take the time to do that, which will end up being a good thing, as that Hyrule Castle key is still further on the mountain.
Yeah, still proud of these two guys here with that bomb self-damage threats. Very nice executed. Hayfield even threw the bomb a bit ahead. So we're gonna need a boost through the Lionels, which also looked pretty amazing.
Wow, that was almost perfect accuracy on that last arrow game. It's pretty cool to see the strafe method. All right, so murmurs in chat about the potential of going to the Desert Warp and walking in bunny form to Bottle Merchant, as you mentioned. That definitely seems to be on the table. We've already seen the uncle. I don't... Yeah, you can't dig as a bunny. There's not a whole lot left. I'm starting to think the Castle Tower.
Yeah, Hayfield dodged this at the second mountain trip, which was a bit inconvenient because he has already the hammer to smack those heavy guards here.
Well, this is looking real cagey here for Magno.
Yeah, especially the next room. Okay, that heart might be quite convenient to have.
That block will be good enough to kill at least one of them. Gotta watch out here.
That's what I... Aua.
Alright, Magno has no interest in continuing in another attempt in that climb. Not a whole lot of weapons to work with after that Canis Samaria magic expenditure. So a
That's
sound
true.
choice.
So Hayfield showing us the hammer packs now. It would be interesting if he thinks about taking the frog with him, because this would also be logic. If he decides to go to Desert Warp.
Find the potion acquisition very interesting, as we get another bottle here for Hayfield Bay. I gotta say, I really don't like buying a blue potion, like, personally, when I have so little, hearts to work with. It's a defensible choice in, tournament play, but it just feels bad, You only get 3 hearts, well, 2 hearts at the maximum if you're Magno. To address some confusion about Magno dying earlier with the fairy, Magno attempted a death warp in Thieves Town, and forgot. I believe Hayfield Bay still has the fairy.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright, well, Hayfield Bay holding on to rupees to make this early pod play a reality. 1 key to his name, and not a lot of dungeon accessible. No potions, from what I can remember, so no potion glitch potential there either.
Yeah, if we want to be cruel now, we would like to see a sword here.
Yeah, that would certainly be rough. Another thing for our runners to consider is if they're really low on bombs, this is like a really great place to stock up if you cannot afford them or need to hold on to rupees elsewhere. I doubt Hayfield Bay is going to make a big deal about that, but you're going to walk out of here with at least 1 or 2 more usually.
Agreed. Okay, Magno getting that small key from here. If he's to spend that small key out of convenience issues and then run into the fire rod, he may be a bit mad about himself there.
Right, a handy bomb refill for Magno as we see a sword here.
Nice.
So, about those lottery numbers.
Yeah, you just mentioned 2. Can you please go on? Or maybe I have to do the next one? I think it was 2 and 16, so I add 23 and 24.
All right, well, with Hayfield's last acquisition, you might be able to throw it out there and see it come back, as lottery numbers certainly not on our runners' minds at the moment. Magno here trying to pull everything he can out of this dungeon. Hayfield Bay looking to make something out of a mimic clip, it looks like.
Yeah, this is also super strong at this mode, definitely.
So as
I
the
don't know, maybe... Sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I just thought maybe Magno was also preparing like the potion pitch, and then realized maybe that was a bit too expensive, so I cannot even open pot anymore. Yeah, maybe should have gone with the green potion. And this was a super nice mimic.
Holy mackerel. So those are some pretty tight frame windows. I don't actually know as far as how close, but it's mechanically a difficult thing to do if you don't have very precise D-pad movement
Yeah,
as you're holding onto
exactly.
that wall. Yeah, I think the way you phrased it was the best. Strong. They're really the only way to look at it.
It's super strong, right? I know. Yeah, but it's I don't know. It's also a bit depending on your, as you said, D-pad skills. But this also stands and falls a bit with your controller, I would say.
Absolutely. And on top of that, Hayfield Bay, despite not getting any major progressive items, on the right half, off of that mimic clip, did get some health. And in this format, that's actually really important.
Agreed, especially with that backward. And now Hayfield, he did that 2 arrow games, so he had that extra excessive money. While Magno though found a small key to Desert Palace, by the way, in the under the bridge in Skullwoods. While Hayfield shows us the Mothula fight, maybe now.
Yeah, it's starting to look like it. Hayfield doesn't have much else to go in this direction for. While Magno's going to head into Ice Palace swordless. A brave choice. Definitely something you have to face in this mode format.
Definitely. Also in Keysanity, especially because you should try a bit to dodge the thought of I just have to dip each dungeon just once. This doesn't work all the time. So a double dip is not as bad as you may think it is.
Yeah, and there are absolutely no keys in our possession here, but that full magic decanter really going to bail
Wow.
Magno out. You really wanted that.
That was strong magic decanter, right? Yeah.
Nevertheless, Magno has access to quite a few items in this dungeon. The big key will, of course, block us guaranteed from getting that big chest. But there are sequence break potential opportunities to get to just about every single other thing imaginable, particularly with that Canis Maria.
Yep. Nothing to add there.
Alright, so Hayfield Bay armed with at least, well, closer to half of a magic bar, a sword, and 6 hearts. Who do you think wins, him or Mothula?
Definitely Hayfield. Hayfield also bought that blue potion just before going here, next to Link's house.
That's a good point, and he has a hammer.
Yeah, and the hammer, definitely. Tempered damage. Nice to have. And there's also a nice 2 hits already in 3. Just a half hit missing. GG. Nice fight.
Oh my goodness. And just like that, Hayfield Bay strikes first, 22.5 minutes in. We're at the crystal number 1 in this inverted key sanity.
So up to Mire next.
It stands to reason. You just gotta hammer every eyeball, right? It's that easy.
It's that easy. Maybe we should go touch a rock and find our bow there.
Now, well, Hayfield wants nothing to do with this dungeon after leaving, so we are going to absolutely get that last bridge item as we saw from Magno before. I believe, right? Yeah, we saw Magno go to the back.
Yeah,
right?
it's a small key, right? And Magno also got quite a few red rupees here. And has his spare pocket money for pot now.
Now, I'm wondering, we haven't seen the stun prize yet, have we?
Sure. I think not.
Because that's another potential source of revenue. If we get lucky with, say, 5 or 20 rupees on that, we haven't had a good weapon to follow up the hook shot with, but that could end up paying off huge.
Yeah, usually like to have the magic or the small heart or the red rupees in some situations.
Looking like we're getting confirmation that it's a small heart, so that'd be a really great way to replenish for the rest of the early to mid game.
Yeah, but Ice Palace lacks a few monsters that actually are able to be stunned and killed, I guess.
Yeah, that's a solid point. A lot of the enemies in Ice Palace you can just straight up kill with a hook shot.
Oh, and there's another sword here in the Dark World.
So Ice Palace Sword, and then we saw the other one in Palace of Darkness. We don't know much about Crystal or Pendant on those two dungeons, but certainly not easy to find swords if we're waiting until about 25 minutes for both of them to have one.
Definitely, but you also super like the sword in this location because first of all it's iced tea, not everybody's doing that, and secondly the sword spin to start the cold stare fight with is so nice to have that right now.
Yeah, just being able to bunch them together, that alone is a
Definitely.
huge advantage.
Definitely, and you may want to. Oh, Magno's lacking magic. But we have this pricey price pack here. Oh, he gets everything.
Let's
He
go.
could have just gone back to the top room to the right. He had that extra small key to get that magic from there. But now he's fully recharged.
Yeah, and if Magno had, like, say, another sword, there was a possibility of sword beam strats, and Hayfield Bay will likely be able
True.
to do exactly that. But
True.
Magno salvaged that one.
Oh, Magno did a new blue potion. I didn't. Oh no, it's that one still. I'm stupid.
I'm with you. Between the two of them buying one, I was kind of surprised to even see it in the first place, but a great value here.
Definitely. It's even recharging it. The time you save in this fight is like so worth it. Same with like Witty, but Witty is not like enhanceable with that items.
Well, that was a pretty excellent cold stare fight considering the equipment. Our runners hedging their bets against, speed, going for the safety and security of a assured kill. Both of them on the board.
True. Maybe we get a Thieves Town wiki here.
Yeah, that would be the best case scenario. As we're pretty much ready to finish the dungeon otherwise.
Yeah, Hayfield also deciding for the left side here. Ooh, we need to be super careful with that. Is it slugs? I think it's slugs. They're including 4 hard damage, I think.
They do. So there's no shot of surviving that one if
No.
they took a hit. So definitely dodging them.
That bomb slug choose violence. That's a good one. Yeah, but enjoyable inverted, right? I mean, we get to see full Mire, full ice, Mothula. Well, nothing logic, but we saw it, so I like it.
I, for one, enjoy the change of pace. We also find out a bit of new information as Magno, in fact, has the map for this dungeon. We now know it's a pendant.
Yeah, you may be tempted to not go to the boss then right on with that equipment. Just take everything else.
What, fight Vitreous with this gear? Come on, that's easy mode. Alrighty, on to the right side here. Big chest, just a small key, and it's swamp. That's entrance to swamp right there.
I mean, you could have, if you had money, after Ice Palace, go to the upgrade ferry and buy a few bomb stacks there. So you have like 25 bomb stacks or something, and then Witty is a bit easier.
Yeah, it doesn't hurt you if you have a nearly infinite or bottomless bomb bag.
True.
Alrighty, Hayfield wrapping around to the right side as we see Magno finishing up all the checks available here in Mire. Quite a few locations. Typically, you don't have a lot of items in the more standard fare, but because of the key sanity, everything's valuable.
Ooh, this is an important one. We both got it. So we need to be careful now with the spike room. You may want that hard, right? Good job. And yeah. Same for Hayfield already did it. Never mind.
Unfortunate key routing because of, key sanity itself, so Hayfield maybe not as inclined to go to Vitreous, or at least try to get a free key on the left side.
Yeah, have to go left. Ooh, this is... I mean, it's perfectly in logic, right? So it's still super scary.
Oh, right, I forgot you can just get through the left side here without a key.
Yeah, there's no small keys in this kind of mode.
Yeah, so this is kind of a gutsy, thorough play from Hayfield, as the boss is maybe necessary, and very difficult with this equipment. Not a lot of health to work with either, but Hayfield having supreme confidence. I'm curious to see if Magno will make the same choice, as this is definitely a difficult fight.
Definitely. Ooh. Ah, okay. He forgot the magic, I guess.
Not a bad way to get there.
Should be faster than the super long animation of that stair climbs.
Alrighty. 2 hearts to his name. Hayfield has most of a magic meter, most of a bomb stack, and a sword. That hammer will probably be good for the second phase, but getting there, that's the hard part.
Yeah, definitely. It's nasty. I mean, if you play this game with nothing at stake, you're usually more confident, I guess, and then you play like super strong. And then if it's like already a very, very important race, like in Hayfield's situation, this is super tough call to make and super sick if it works. It would be so cool. We still have a blue goo, I think, on Hayfield, right? You also bought one.
I believe they both use theirs in
I
their own
already used,
respective boss
okay.
fights.
Maybe on. Okay.
Alrighty, well, this is a big risk, potentially big reward. After this, though, you got to think that we're probably heading, what, to Swamp?
Mm.
That's the last bomb for Hayfield. Gonna switch to Hammer and get some sword spins out of the way to try and keep him off of him a little bit. Those lightning strikes are very scary.
Yeah, you just have to know that the little eyeballs are just going to where you just have been before. Damn. But sometimes the light. Okay, we still have that one. True. Good job. Forgot that. And we still have that blue goo. Nice. Okay.
Alright, I was definitely wrong about the potion, but HayfieldBay not wrong about his resources. Taking them,
True.
full advantage of them.
I'm super on edge, so this is working out for both of them.
This is big yikes.
It's definitely big. Like, imagine it's just the moon for here. Not just, but if it's the moon for here, that would be so crazy.
It's possible. We have 2 swords available to us. It's not even unreasonable. It's just nerve-wracking at this stage of the race.
Even nerve-wracking watching and not playing yourself. Whoa!
We'll say that the extra hearts that Hayfield has come across, in this route, I guess no extra hearts over Magno, but just having them at all, is really helping out here, because you can take a couple of hits, but, from the lightning, that's about it.
Yeah, but I think there's no difference between 5 or 6 hearts in this fight.
Only if you're taking a combination of damage sources, so if you have 5, you can't take, like, a lightning and get hit by an eyeball.
True, they are doing 3 damage, you're right. Yeah. Okay, looking good. Don't wanna jinx, but...
I'd be careful. I mean, I'm saying
I
that
wanna be at
Hayfield, not
40.
you.
I mean, it's a super long fight with that equipment.
Yeah, Magno, in the meantime, has no interest in doing this.
Yeah, understandable with the pendant information. And this is what you said in the beginning of the race, right? Maps are vital and resourceful and nice to have.
For all we know, because I don't think we've seen a map check, this could very well be a green pendant for all we know. And if it is, hey, there's another item out of it.
True. Okay, Magno thinks about the Smith being in logic as a bunny walk. Yeah. Oh my god! Okay.
As funny as that is, this is actually really awful for Magno, as Magno has left Mystery Mire, has other dungeons accessible, is doing the Smith chain right now, which can't fault you for, as you can, get to the merchant and turn in the Smith. But we'll inevitably have to go back, and Hayfield has all of this lead time to start exploring the light world, see what other items they can get. That's a huge advantage.
Definitely. Whew. I heat it up like, I don't know, 10 degrees or something.
Yeah, this is Spicy Town right now.
I'm not sure. If you're taking the Smith to the uncle, is it getting overridden? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, Hayfield with no bombs here, but I think it's a fair trade to have no bombs for Moon Pearly.
And the good news is, of course, we do have the flute. We can easily get back there. That map information about the Eastern Palace may end up being more vital. We know that we're going to need, or actually, we don't know that we need Palace of Darkness, but how soon we need a bow could be informed by that.
Hayfield showing us why gloves are nice to have.
Yeah, I didn't realize you could get them on like all of those rocks. That's incredible. Alrighty, back for revenge on Nagina, as Magno finishing up the turn-in. Gonna get a Skullwood Small, not too important at this juncture. Does inform you slightly on the logic, but not by much.
Yeah, not having yet, though, but maybe even pointing him to Mothula, but I don't think so. You probably want to stay in logic now. Okay, never mind. It's already the second or third one? I'm not sure. Second, I guess.
And wow, a Thieves Town small, so Hayfield will absolutely be able to full clear Thieves Town on the first pass. Once we have that big key going to the basement, you're not gonna have to come back there for that basement big chest after that. I realize I say first pass, but they've already been there.
Yeah. Ooh, this could be. He would have liked to have that before ice, I guess, but yeah.
Yeah, it is excellent to get a Bombos when you don't have tons of weapons to work with. I mean, it is a slow animation. You might prefer Ether in some circumstances, but getting the half magic alongside it really going to make stuff like Ice Palace, Turtle Rock, other potentially magic heavy scenarios much less threatening.
Okay, Magno resupplying himself here with another bloop goo. Was already in the air and then remembered, oh, I should buy a potion here again. And we find the heraldic key. Why not? Brings a big test in logic there. And boss and the compass test.
Alright, Hayfield off to Mini Moldorm as Magno gets his pockets picked. Heading up to, looks like, finish off Mothula, maybe?
Yeah.
Almost taking an overworld death.
Yeah, that red guard can be punishing if he dodges the hook shot.
But will wisely take advantage of that hook shot to get as many stun prizes as possible. Love to see it.
Yeah.
See
Watch on Hayfield's side.
And beyond that, just some money and a little bit of health.
Yeah, nice place to find money for convenient routing here.
Guess this does push the needle a little bit closer towards Zora. We're still a good 100 spots short, and doesn't look like Hayfield's going to try and buy any bombs for any cheeky strats, but there is a cape there that you will absolutely stop for.
Yeah, Magno would like to have that one.
Yep, just another example of a easy to overlook location if you're not used to inverted, as generally you'd be thinking about the Mire to get there. You just need to find a way to light world. Back here for Mothula, Magno trying to get back onto the board to get to that second crystal, get a slight lead over Hayfield.
Yeah, I mean the play is completely fine because you get two logic Skyward small keys behind the bunny walk. Then you just may assume, okay, the third Skyward small key may just be lying there in pot. So I do this first.
Mothula is not really cooperating, but that half magic giving him a lot more opportunities to burn him down, and that's enough for Magno, who will emerge with the second crystal.
Yeah.
Hayfield making his way up to the Ice Rod Cave, probably not finding that there, but will not leave anything behind. Of course, Flute not going to be any help to us here, so we're probably going to see maybe a save and quit.
I mean, I would feel super confident in Hayfield's spot now. So maybe he also may farm some money here. Yeah, why not? Because he can just. I always think like if you do like a crazy good play like that, you should reinvest that into more throughout overworld checking. So you like can make another play out of it, and he most likely does. Or
I am a
just
little
goes to the,
surprised to see him not farm up money there, because that was a good spot.
yeah, or just goes to overworld, which is also fine.
Yeah, but a smart use of Whirlpool to get back to the north end here. Hayfield does have both gloves, so no problems trying to... Wait a second. That was a weird bomb.
Yeah, that looks weird.
I'm not going to remember to ask him in the interview, but spiritually, I want us all to ask him in the interview. Alrighty, so Graveyard Ledge available to us, and of course we can get, with the gloves through a lot of these overworld locations that normally are a little more frustrating.
Yeah, just mirror on boots missing for super convenient routing. But recently the boots are always kind of late, right?
It may certainly feel that way. To the back of the escape we are here with Hayfield. 3 chests available to us as Magno is making his way into Pod to hopefully get a sword.
Ooh, Turtle Rock and the Ice Rod Knight right next to it. Hayfield, by the way, forgot to pre-check the back of where the priest is, the cathedral, but maybe it was intended to stay here in Lightworld.
Well, quite an awesome combo to get in the same spot. Getting that big key and the ice rod means we just gotta keep in mind how many smalls we have, and then it's completable.
Okay, Magno burning his blue potion here will be quite hurting for the upcoming Witty fight soon.
Yeah, if we had more keys available to us, it would be an option. Well, I guess we could technically get to the back and get the rubies in the basement. But that is quite the expenditure of time.
You you forsake like the logic check then.
Yeah, that being said, though, Magno has an opportunity here with that key that he has saved so far to check a lot of things that Hayfield had to leave behind before. Aghanim's reward today, just a shiny suit of mail. Not sure that's going to be worth the time expenditure unless we have to, for some unreasonable course, have to go to the second chest.
Yeah.
And even then, I don't know if I'd spend that time.
Okay, Magno gets his sword. This is why I like to have like at least 2 small keys when going here. So
Well,
there
Magno
was
is going
nothing.
deep.
There was nothing in the basement, right? In pot basement, there where the Stalfos are and the Terrapin.
I don't believe we saw anything of major significance. Of course, we don't have the big key either, so no hammer yumps of big chest concern, but we might see Magno do a hammer yump from north side to try and get to the 2 dark maze chests. More importantly, in the short term, though, lots of money available here for Magno, which can kind of make the blue potion expenditure a little less painful. Finding some maps here for Hayfield Bay.
Thieves Town map, I think it was.
All right, here's the North Hammer Yump. Going for pause buffers. Of course, if you know a thing or two about how Link moves, knowing that animation for walking starts in 2 pixels per frame, going north or west, and 1 pixel per frame going south and east, and then alternating between the two, you can take advantage of 1-frame pause buffers to line yourself up perfect. Unfortunately, that cannot replace a big key, and Magno will have to continue onwards without it.
It's a super nice sentence. If Magno is maybe lucky, he I don't know what he can find here. A bow, third sword. I mean, sacrificing the basement was quite gutsy. But yeah. He maybe just forgot that this is in logic now and he is locked behind the second potion glitch.
Yeah, and while it may be profitable to go to the bottle vendor for Hayfield, Magno will probably have those chests lingering in the back of his mind. A gutsy decision that you have to make if you think that your opponent might have probably already found that Moon Pearl by now, as I'm pretty sure that's definitely hanging over Magno's head at this point.
I don't know. I'm not sure. He didn't like mess up so much. Yeah, he has the knowledge about the pendant. Witty, he may think my opponent also maybe not doing that. He did the modular fight, can't feel so bad. Then he gets like Red Rock now, which also won't feel so bad. But after that, yeah, you're right. If he finds nothing here, he will be like, oof.
And we do have the benefit of seeing both players. Of course, Magno and Hayfield Bay are very much in the dark until they had their lamp, and then they were just wondering about their opponents at that point.
True. Magno also did Ice Palace. I totally forgot.
Wow, some opinions here from Magno about the the first chest in the lore.
Does it count? Does it count if you not actually spend a bomb because there's a replenish one right next to it? I think that doesn't count.
You know, it's just a long-term RNG manipulation trying to force the randomizer to retroactively put a different item. I don't know.
Yeah, since there's magic work like spooky in this game, I believe you. Ooh, this was a bit unfortunate. Maybe hookshot dodge it.
It's an awkward setup, but he does have space.
He got hit by. This is what I said before. If you get hit from the first Lionel, it can mess up everything here. He was hit by the left Lionel in the back, so he dropped his bomb. He also got the bomb damage though, but not the boost. And then he was down to 2 hearts.
Yeah, so Magno's not going to give up on this Turtle Rock play, and I don't blame him. There's quite a few chests that you can get in the dungeon, and a couple of the keys kind of just continue you on your path. You're not going to need that ice rod till the very end of it, which Magno will definitely not have, and neither will he have the keys. So I think he's expecting the double dip here.
While Hayfield shows us the third hotkey, or was it the second? He already had a 2 there. Okay, it was the third. Our tracker Crump is paying attention.
Much appreciation to our tracker today. Crump is good people.
True. Magno has, aside from Vitreous, he has that play now. And maybe the uncle in Hyrule Castle should be in. But oh, there's bushes in front, right? In front and on the right? I'm not sure.
I frequently get it mixed up. I wouldn't want to miss it.
Same. I even opened the Blanca tracker to check. No, it's not in logic. I'm mistaken. Sorry.
Well, we did get some information about those maps we've been collecting. Hayfield taking a moment to look at the Dark World, finding a regular pendant at Thieves Town, green pendant at Swamp, I believe, and then we saw a 5/6 crystal at Palace of Darkness and a regular crystal at Turtle Rock. Oh, I'm sorry, I got the pendants mixed up. Green pendant is Thieves Town. Swamp is a regular pendant. So the puzzle's slowly starting to come together here. Hayfield pretty well equipped for this Ice Palace visit. Magno had to do it on a lot less and did succeed. So you would hope that Hayfield has similar luck. With half magic equipped, should have very few worries.
Yeah, true. I mean, Magno had the better equipment at the muscular fight, but I think overall Ice Palace is the more sought after dungeon to have better equipment. Ooh.
A bit of misfortune here early in Turtle Rock for Magno, but Magno not to be deterred. At least this time we made it here, which means this doesn't cost too much time. Hayfield, in the meantime, pretty well equipped, but doesn't have the other sword from this dungeon. And that could potentially be difficult. However, does have the big key for this pass-through, so we'll get to see that big chest, hopefully. Whether or not that has
Good
anything
call.
important remains to be seen.
Could I also skip that button here? As you just mentioned, we have that big key.
Yeah, so a little bit of icebreaker action here to get us to the other side of the dungeon. Hayfield opting for a slash buffer. And that worked pretty well.
Okay, now he gets another pot smoky, and there's the first Maya smoky, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Magno just picked one up. I didn't see if that was the same thing Hayfield got.
Hayfield didn't even come here yet, I think. He had no sword when he did his second mountain trip. And Magno can go all the way to Chainchomps.
Yeah, and it's not like it's very likely that there's another small key for Turtle Rock here, but if there were, I mean, you know, it's not completely unfeasible. It's certainly worth exploring to the very last chest. If you can get there.
Yeah, it's dangerous. Oh! Yikes! Yeah, this is good, this is good. Okay, now he will start to feel bad, or at least he has to think, okay, we are even now. Maybe this would be the positive mental state. But we all know if we run ourselves, we are never thinking the best outcome. Always thinking the worst.
That's the constant dance that you have when you play Randomizer. You get the highs of feeling like, hey, I found the thing, like this sword here, that's going to make Hayfield feel like, you know, hey, this is not the worst thing to full clear this. And then you got the lows where you're thinking about what your opponent might be doing. You're looking at the race time chat. This is only amplified further by being in groups and then brackets here in this tournament. I'm excited to see how this all turns out, as this group N has been shaping up to be almost like a tiebreaker hell.
Yeah. I'd also say the sum of gamers there, it's a super scary group, so everybody can... Oh, there's a bow. You are really a dark magician, Yuda.
That is a misfortune for sure for Magno. Of course, you know, people watching this group will probably be breathing a sigh of relief if you like tiebreakers, because
Yeah, true.
you know, this kind of odds would definitely push the needle better towards a group kind of being, you know, evened up. Magno is undefeated at 2-0 in this group, and everybody else in the group has raced at least 3, late bit on to 4.
So let's see though if that purple chest is also bringing us some more chaos to that seat.
It's certainly been an ups and downs wild ride. Unfortunate that that ice hit Hayfield Bay right before the spin, but with half magic, we'll clean this up just fine.
Not just forget to turn it in, or
Yeah, what is Magno doing here? That's
I'm
strange.
not sure. Maybe the head is full of thinking what I do next, and then you forgot what you have to do now. Yep, thank you. He heard us. Oof.
You know, maybe he was distracted by that absolutely wonderful bunny sprite.
Maybe he just did as you say and did a RNG manipulation to shuffle the loot in that purple chest.
No, but I mean, like, look at it wiggle. Like, it's so cute.
It's so cute.
It's just nice little Yoshin there.
He will feel... No, he must not feel so good, but I mean, if you get that pendant information and you assume your opponent also knows it's a pendant, which wasn't the case. Oh, it's getting not good.
Blue potion refill at the waterfall. Okay. Hayfield didn't really need to save that much money, but was going to be 1 rupee short of getting Wolf Zora and a potion.
Yeah, I mean, playing out everything here for Hayfield right now.
All right, so a bee in a bottle here on the ledge. I mean, You don't really need the third bottle necessarily, but knowing that there's a free blue potion in that cave, you walk back to the cave.
Yeah, I mean, you already know you may not get that armor upgrade, which is in Hayfield's case a skin choice quite good, because I don't like how it looks. I like the standard skin.
Well, Magno's been here before. We'll come back for more. It's time for Vitreous, and Magno will be getting a Moon Pearl about an hour in, which definitely doesn't feel great, but considering how much you can do in the Dark World overall, could be worse.
Yeah, he just has to maintain the positive attitude now to think Hayfield did the same. It's super, what do you say? It's super likewise that Hayfield did the same. If you can do that to stay healthy and maybe not fall further behind, yeah, but it's easier said than done.
And in the grand scheme of things, I mean, we do have even crystal counts. The big difference here is that all these overworld checks and light world general checks that Hayfield's been able to do have yielded quite a few keys, and Magno will have to do some smart thinking to try and, I guess, suss out the proper logical path to try and cut some time here. Talk about some RNG. Every one of those cannonballs.
Yeah, it's rare that you can like dash up the whole way. Sometimes trying. Would have looked good right there for Hayfield now if he had boots. 5 balls on the right side.
Alright, so that hook shot in hand, Hayfield will save a couple screen transitions here as we see Magno heading deep into Mire to get that last item check, the fabled Moon Pearl, as Hayfield's picking up another TR small key, slowly inching towards further completion of that dungeon.
Yeah, I mean it can be like perfectly standard logic-wise. If you just don't get any mirror source, then we may just have to get that 3 till 4 monkeys to clear it.
Yeah, I guess that's an easy thing to kind of forget about is that with Mire, you can access Turtle Rock in different ways.
Yeah. And if you get the mids, it's also quite more convenient to get there faster than to jump down on the right side mountain and climb back up in the light world to just drop down the mimic ledge or the safety door exit.
You know, or Eastern Palace can give you all your small keys for Turtle Rock. Here comes that Vitreous fight for Magno. Bombs aplenty. Has a Master Sword, but you still don't really want to be fighting with Master Sword here. You do it once you're out of bombs.
Magno even going for the damage boost, yeah? Gets 2 nice spins in. He bought that blue potion. He has just the 1 bottle. Needs to be careful now, maybe a bit more, but yeah.
Those are some excellent spins, though.
Yeah, that's definitely a time saver so far. Don't let's jinx it now.
Yeah, by no means a free fight with all of the resources, but certainly faster and less dangerous overall. Magno going to swap to that hammer here, and should be able to wrap this up just fine. That's a fancy poke strat.
Yeah, just want to say, don't get overconfident though, because it's always like 1 frame closer. At one point, he may hit you. You have to adjust a bit to the, I don't know, to the top or to the south to adjust to his movement. And there's the Moonper. Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about. Never a doubt. Alrighty, so we do know, of course, that Misery Mire was a pendant. We know that Thieves Town is a green pendant, and Swamp is... Or, I'm sorry, did I get that mixed up again? Yeah. Thieves Town was the green pendant, and Swamp was a regular pendant. So crystal knowledge is out there. Our runners know what they need, but they have quite a few things left to find in terms of keys.
What do we need? We need Desert Palace Big Key and Beaky Big Key, right? For Hayfield?
Yeah, Desert Palace Big Key. We have the small, which we don't need for Swamp. He doesn't have Thieves Town Big Key. And yeah, there's not that much.
Yeah. We can, Hayfield can just go and clear Turtle Rock if he feels like doing that now. with that 2 small keys from the Eastern Palace trip.
Well, here's Magno getting some of the checks he couldn't get without the Moon Pearl, as Hayfield has finished up Armos Knights with a slight mishap on the fast kill, but a good recovery.
Yeah, still looked pretty amazing. I mean, he must feel pretty huge with that early Moon Pearl.
Yeah, and hard not to. That was a very difficult place to get one. And no
Yeah.
matter how good you think your opponent is, if you have a one-try fight, you feel good there.
I would even say it's more nasty than the Trinex Moon Pearl thing. Because you usually have that more magic or a hammer or at least the bigger swords or 3 potions, something like that.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Okay, and there's another pot small key for Hayfield. It should be the 4th. And thus making pot attractive, making Turtle Rock attractive.
Yeah, I believe we saw Hayfield spend the key in Palace of Darkness, so those 2 keys will get him the back with the hammer yump, all of it, and to the boss.
Whenever I see someone carrying the bush, I always expect a big discussion popping out in chat again.
So beyond the 2 big keys we've mentioned, of course, there is the elusive GT big key, and however many smalls we need out of that. Another Lionel scenario going on here, but Kate can get us out of this.
Yeah, Cape and half magic. And we also get a refill in the start of Turtle Rock, so why not burn the magic? But you have to think about it. Stuff like that you may just forget about a few seconds because you're planning your route and your decision making, what your opponent is possibly doing right now.
Alrighty, we'll hop it off the tail to get the medallion usage here. Hayfield going to enter into her rock second to enter, actually, thanks to Magno's earlier spelunking. Has a lot of health missing. May take a death warp after rollers.
Yeah, why not? I mean, it's convenient, right? I mean, given the fact we had that bow in the Ice Palace big chest, and for creating a more even race outcome for us and the viewers, we may want something in the Lava Lake chest, and Magno may finding the 4th small key, so we get a race. But don't want to jinx it, just saying.
Brover, I feel like I missed something here. When did Hayfield get that 3rd sword?
Oh, I didn't notice myself. I just noticed the 2 Turtle Rock small keys. Sorry.
No worries. That must have happened. I honestly can't even think. Maybe our tracker or somebody in chat remembers. Oh, Eastern Big Key Chest. Holy mackerel.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I was like very absorbed by Magno's witty fight.
And fair point, yeah. I mean, we're all kind of captivated about whether or not we're getting that Moon Pearl, or this would be a much more frustrating adventure for Magno.
I mean, I was also pretty super absorbed by Hayfield's witty fight, where I didn't pay any attention to Magno, so it's just fair, I guess.
And that's the excitement and drama of inverted keys here in this tournament. I find the choice to avoid that map interesting from Magno.
Doesn't he have all the information he needs?
Just... Yeah, so you must already know about Swamp in Thieves Town.
Magno found that Thieves Town map recently, but the other map a bit prior to Hayfield for the first bunny walk, I think? Not sure anymore. Yeah, but I expect some Hail Mary plays from Magno soon, because he just knows Hayfield is super strong execution-wise, and he will probably have that mental status where he can make that decision to feel behind and then thus make a less likely play to be prior to a more likely play.
Yeah, and Magno still has plenty of opportunity left in this race. It might seem like, hey, that whole missing bow thing was pretty severe, but it's not unheard of that Magno could head back there if we start running dry in opportunities, and Hayfield could be looking for that GT big key for very long for all we know.
Yeah, depends if we just skipped it here, and Magno may find a fourth. A rock small key, as mentioned earlier, but yeah.
So still plenty of opportunity on the table. Magno and Hayfield have done a fair chunk of dungeon completions. There's the perfect RNG for Hayfield,
Ooh.
but unfortunate bounce RNG.
Yeah, that's why I hate pokies. I mean, he should have just listened to you, right? To take that death warp.
I'm not gonna. I'm definitely not the best person to take advice from when it comes to how to play better at this game.
Out that after this commentary so far, you're pretty good at knowing where to shot call the items and the lottery numbers. So
The secret is that it's easy to do
looking
if you're not playing.
forward to the rest.
Alrighty, so Hayfield, taking that death there, we'll have to revisit the rest of this. Of course, we've already skipped that big key, vanilla big key location, so we'll be able to, cut a little bit of the revisit out. Still has to go through the back half of the dungeon with that stolen key.
True. We already seen that in this tournament, I think once or twice with a fourth small key on the laser bridge, I think. Yeah. Well, I mean, why not?
Well, good news for Magno. This is going to lead him to getting at least one blue potion, maybe two. I don't remember if he rebought. But that's going to be a really great help going through the rest of this combat in the seed.
He doesn't listen to you.
It would be nice, but, his bottles might already be full.
Ooh, we found a mushroom in the Third Rock big chest.
Yeah, and those one-offs are things that I think would be helpful for Magno to find and not have Hayfield find. So every one of those, the possibility gap or possibility potential kind of closing a little bit.
A little scared that, given the thing I just said with Magno doing to maybe going to make a Hail Mary play, he may dip Eastern Palace because it feels like a good gamble, and then we know already, that would hurt, maybe. I don't know. This could be a bad thing, but on the other hand, if he decides to maybe play the Uncle and Hyrule Castle front, it could be a good play.
Interesting enough, we do see Magno walking out of Azora's domain. Not going to bother with the bottle, but will be taking, it looks like, a whirlpool back to Hylia Island area. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I mean, if we had no mids, that would be fine, but with respawning and just shooting to the 8 and going lightward there, you just forget. And there's boots for Hayfield.
The perfect accessory from when you're really tired of doing laser bridge skips while walking. Alright, well that's just about everything you can get in here besides the vanilla big key chest. Hayfield gonna walk all the way back here to Trinex, and will probably never return.
Oh, I just realized we will need the Book of Modora, right? I totally forsake that point. We are having to have that in the inverted.
Right, is that
Otherwise,
our only desert access?
it's the only desert access, yeah. Therefore, you had like the Mire access with a mirror only if you had lightward access, but we have a fluid, so that's not a point in this category.
Alright, well, Trinex fight here for Hayfield, as Magno going to grab a couple of the Hyrule Castle area checks.
Ooh, he listened to me.
Small allowance from our uncle here, hoping we don't spend it all in one place. Hayfield knocking out Trinex, putting Hayfield, in a better place. But this was a crystal, so we are up to four crystals.
Yeah, and we can just go for a convenient pot play after, as in Hayfield's position. We also got the 5th small key, so we can do everything there.
All right, well, a different direction altogether for Magno here. Going to go through the front half of the escape. We saw the drop down in the back of the escape. I believe Hayfield may have been the one to do it, but it was early in the seed that we saw that since we had Titansmith so quickly.
Yeah,
Interesting
Hayfield just
pose
went.
here.
Hayfield went back from the drop down to the church to get that item. Because this is also like if you're very unfamiliar with this game mode, you tend to forget that if you're playing it first or second time. Like I started at Cathedral, why would I even go in there in the light world? So yeah, seen that also in German tournament recently, and leading to a very late fire rod.
Yeah, so we'll pull out all of the knowledge stops here. Magno getting a very cheeky little hook shot there to try and add a few extra, frames here. And interestingly enough, doesn't alert the guard, as that's usually an issue with that particular walk path. Still going to get everything down here, including the ball and chain guard chest at Zelda's cell. Hayfield trying to wrap up the Light World Mountain Paradox Cave time.
Yeah, it's also 7 items, right? So this is a huge density.
In terms of Y items, not a whole lot more that we really want on Hayfield's side, though. I mean, what, that mirror and the book?
Necessarily need the mirror though, but we need that book and that last biggie. And Magno gets nothing, and there is the book. So we are close to finishing this one. But this is easier, also easier said than most of the time what actually happens. Like you have to find that needle in that big, or I don't want to say hay. What do you say with the big stacks of hay?
Oh, needle in a haystack, yeah.
Yeah, hay. Oh, it's haystack. Okay, I just realized it wouldn't. It wasn't an intentional pun.
I mean, it carries, it works.
Yeah, it goes. I just realized. Oh, damn. Do you want to say hey now?
Well, Hayfield feeling like an all-star. Playing the
Yeah,
game
you
now.
must feel so nice right now. I would feel so superior in this routing.
Yeah, a lot of the chips have just fallen correctly in the right places for Hayfield. With that book in hand, can also get this tablet. That's a small key, probably important. We can use that GT small key later. We need at least a couple.
Yeah, it's actually the one we definitely want. And in Hayfield's place, we want the Desert Palace big key now. That would be quite convenient because then I assume we may even. Then we want GT small keys more. My GT small big key can be in GT, so let's not forget that.
The tough part here about, the GT big key scenario is, I mean, there's a ton of chests in there, but do you take that gamble? I mean, there's so much potential world that you would need to, still explore. It's a really rough day when you go into GT, clear the entire basement, and do not have that key.
Yeah, it's a bit. Janet's Tower's second small key. Just when we say that. Now it's getting more interesting. I mean, with one small key, there's not much of interest logic-wise, but this doesn't mean like we just skip the small keys prior to GT somewhere. But yeah, I would always rush for GT, I think, and try to find it there, because it's like what most likely your opponent will also do. So it's not a time waste if both do it. This is like a common thought of, I don't know, competitive gaming maybe.
Makes sense. It's playing to your win condition. You're most
Yeah.
likely to win if you do find it there.
Nice bump by Magno.
Thankfully, replenishing a couple along the way. 404 bomb wall not found on that throw. Rupee count kind of expressing the sentiment here. Hayfield with some luckier numbers here. 333. I'd feel pretty good if that was my rupee roulette.
So we see like Spiral Cave now. And then I assume it's going to be pot quite soon.
Yeah, Palace of Darkness accessible to us. We can get into Desert Palace, still missing that big key. And if we really needed to, we can go to Swamp. But I think Hayfield's really hoping to not need to at all.
Oh, and this is the 6th pod small key. So this thing is sealed, I guess.
Yeah, there's no reason in the world the Hayfield would not be going to pod right now.
We just were asked if there's this opportunity to Magno finding the second bow. I must admit that Hyrule Castle was a good chance to find the second bow, but it wasn't there though. So I think Magno is also running a bit dry on those checks, and Magno may also play the Triax now without those 2 small keys from Eastern Palace, of course, because there's no bow, which is also unfortunately a bit of a time sink now.
Well, now that you mention it, though, there's a few things kind of tipping in Magno's favor that are worth considering and kind of keeping an eye on. Magno will, of course, be getting the boots from this journey up to Laser Bridge, and that will help close the gap a little bit in terms of bleeding that time away. I want to say Magno's best case scenario right now is he takes a Hail Mary play, like you were talking about, Brogor, and goes into Swamp, finds the GT Big Key and the other bow. That would be like the best case scenario.
Can Magno, though, get to the boots? I think he was expecting to mirror there and forgot he has no mirror, maybe? Oh, he's doing the Lightweight Mountain. Yeah, fair. Sorry. Magno only has 1 key, true. So he's going to get through the... Would be able to get through the chain shop room, then he can steal the small key. But he would get to the Laser Bridge, right?
Yeah, I completely forgot about the keys in this one. That's my my fault there.
Yeah, I just mentioned them, so maybe this was because it's stuck in your head, because they are both in Eastern Palace.
Yeah, that's about as rough as that gets. So then Magno could find...
Die here, you don't die. Maybe take the cave.
Yeah, I don't blame him for that choice. Dead Rocks, you cannot trust them.
We had a cute scenario in an Randomizer recently in the German tournament, which happened prior to this one. And we had an Randomizer in the Dark Maze, and we also had the situation with small 1 heart, and then something popping up at the screen, player immediately popping the cape, and it was just a little chicken flying in. That was cool. So definitely good game, always surprising us with new things.
That's one of the strengths of this tournament is you got to be ready for everything.
True, yeah. So from Magno's perspective, I would feel super behind. Maybe I'm doing the Desert Palace play at this point without the big key, hoping it might be there or something else, or even going for a pendant dip now, because this feels very streamlined so far.
Yeah, it kind of feels like that that second bow is the out. It's the thing that can help Magno here at this point.
Not the out, but maybe the get the what's called not falling further behind. Yeah.
Right. That's a good point. I mean, because if we can find, say, 1 more pod key and that bow, then you can do Eastern Palace and Palace of Darkness kind of in the same swoop. Some things kind of work out for efficiency. We still haven't seen that GT Big Key, and I'm kind of wondering at this point if we're going to see it in GT or what feels more likely to me personally, it's Swamp.
Yeah, what Magno needs is something nasty, like Terra Basement now with having the small key now, which he hasn't though. Yeah, like you said, GT Big Key in a nasty location would be the out, or maybe the trying to get close or even.
All right, that's Helmasaur down for Hayfield, who is creeping closer and closer to completion on this seed with what I would only describe as a commanding lead and presence in this race. That bow and Ice Palace Big Chest, pretty monumental.
Yeah, like you said. I mean, you jinxed it minute 20. It's a positive jinx, of course.
Yeah, it's a not a hex, but whatever.
Hex is the negative word. Okay, I was just like clairvoyance or something like that.
We'll find some inverse terminology later.
Nice. Verse inverted terminology.
Alrighty, well, bootsless Magno is going to attempt to do a bomb boosted Harapot.
This looks good. Yeah. Hayfield cleaning up the majority of the completeness of pot, and then what will we see from Hayfield? Swamp. He can't dip Swamp yet. Maybe TT or even a Desert Palace play. I mean, why not?
And this certainly feels like a race where, outside of that Moon Pearl, it's going to feel kind of hard to gauge where your opponent likely will be. You can assume the God route, and if so, Magno would definitely know that Hayfield is well ahead. But if you're not assuming that your opponent did the God route, you're just hoping that, some of these pitfalls were shared experiences, and so far it definitely hasn't been.
Agreed. If Hayfield also paid attention to the Misery Mire map, he may also think, oh, this could have led Magno quite far away from the Moon Pearl. And Magno, unfortunately, gets spin kicked down the mid sink in the Hera Tower and has to climb 2 levels again.
Hey, but I know Magno won't let that Mold Orm get the last laugh. We're in for round 2.
True. Talking about pitfalls, yeah.
Alrighty, a Spike Cave here for Hayfield Bay.
Yeah, that's something we didn't see. Now we are like off to like the more nasty checks. If it also has the complete Smith chain available, the mushroom, which was in Third Rock, which could be checked, which is absolutely disgusting check if you have to go there in Dark World, also in inverted, but you can like go in the Light World here and bonk in the warp there. But yeah, Desert Palace play, or maybe Bomber's Tablet first. Agreeable. And there's a powder. Did we see that before?
Yes, I don't know if we remarked on it. We did see both of them come to the desert area.
Yeah, true. I just didn't witness it somehow.
So that's going to be access to the Magic Bat, logically. I don't think we saw the Magic Bat.
Yeah, this also brings, it's nice to have then to combine it with a nasty mirrorless Smith chain.
It almost kind of feels weird to go right as you enter desert. Of course, Key Sandy reigning supreme here today. Hayfield going to grab a map. We inferred this information just by collecting the crystal.
Also, one thing we should bring up is if Magno found like an earlier bow for the, like we said, the out, it's most likely also being found by Hayfield for extra silver arrow power. So maybe it's Desert Palace. Is Magno also here now?
Yeah, we get some convergence between the two. Hayfield, of course, will have to leave behind the big chest here unless this is a big key. It's a small key.
NGT is getting more and more interesting once we can get there. So that's third key. So most everything in logic right now. I think only what's called map room or compass room on the right side is locked behind 4 small keys, I think.
I couldn't remind you on the math, but you definitely always want to have at least a couple keys walking in there, unless you don't have the big key, in which case having 1 or 2 more can really be a difference maker. That's a conceivable scenario here. If Hayfield has to find that big key in the basement somewhere, and it's on the wrong side that he doesn't check, Magno could have already grabbed enough small keys going to the wrong places earlier to actually find it first.
So what do we know what is left? It's something like mushroom or powder, right?
Yeah, we're definitely running short on good locations that we can actually physically look at. Most of the overworld's been cleared out. We've already seen Smith Chain.
Yeah, did we see spiral cave we just seen earlier, like a few minutes ago. Did we see the mimic cave? I think we did.
We did.
And also seen the spike cave. So those 3 one-offs are also kind of off. And Hayfield following the Turtle Rock item.
Yeah, so after getting that off the ledge of desert, we're going to get another map that we don't need, so Hayfield's leaving that behind. But we do emerge with some knowledge. I'm not going to bother doing any kind of magic or, bottle refills here. Certainly feeling comfy in equipment.
King's Tomb, right? We didn't see that yet.
That's correct. Yeah, we didn't have boots on our first pass. Oh. That was almost exciting.
Almost. Was it the TT big key, right? I didn't see, actually.
No, that was a Thieves Town big key, which, I mean, it is a thing you can do.
What did I say? GT?
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries.
I read Thieves Town and I say GT. Sorry.
Ganon's Town big key. Also on the table, something to consider. Maybe, this is inverted. We can start, kind of twisting things around. Thieves Tower.
Nice. Did you remember when I said Magno's out could be like back of Thieves Town, pendant-like? Yeah, well, it's locked behind boots. Not going to happen anytime soon.
Yeah, not the greatest scenario to deal with. Of course, that would not help Magno in any way whatsoever. But Hayfield is absolutely going to check. So if this ends up empty, Magno will probably not have a reason to come back here before he hits go mode. Unless he gets a tip from Sahasrahla and ends up leading him there.
But Hayfield is going there now.
Yeah, so Magno's got quite a bit to do. He's got to get the boots off of the laser bridge to even consider this play that Hayfield's doing. Hayfield has all the keys needed. But we'll spend some time here, so we'll see if this ends up paying out. So this is rough for Magno here. We're going to be going into Eastern Palace without that bow, and there's no hope of finding here.
This is like that Hail Mary place. He definitely knows he's leading now, but as I mentioned before, this is, as we know, the pitfall we mentioned before that could happen to him, and now it's happening. I mean, it's still a good play if you like stuck on the bow, don't feel good, maybe thinking, okay, my opponent won't go Eastern Palace now without a bow quite soon, so I may do that, find a big key here or another bow. It's not a bad thing to do a double dip in key sanity modes. Yeah, I can agree with that.
Yeah, and this is the kind of heads-up decision-making and play, shot calling that you would expect from somebody who makes it into the groups of this tournament. Magno is undefeated walking into this race with a solid 2-0 start to the groups phase, and being able to kind of adjust your logic, reading based on what you're seeing in the seed and what you know about your opponents, the hallmark of somebody who, on average, can beat a lot of people. And since we're talking so much about these two, good reminder that if you haven't, you should follow these two on their personal Twitch channels. We'll get an !R into chat here momentarily so you can see their channels, but they're putting on a great show for us today, and I would really appreciate it if you showed them some love.
Yeah, nicely said. Magno now finding his 2 Turtle Rock small keys.
Yeah, well, that will push him a little closer. That's a great pun.
Yeah, I mean, it's a definitely required dip, but you just could have the bow before, but yeah. Well. Depending what Hayfield finds next now here. We see a mirror? A mirror would be funny, right? Oh no, a biggie, but no, it's the right one. It's not going on. Or maybe it is. Maybe we get a mirror in desert for a big key of GT in swamp.
Because this is rapidly unfolding into a all dungeon seed, it seems like.
Yeah, but still the time is pretty good. So, there it was. Okay, yeah. I think somebody told us.
Yeah,
Totally
so
blacked out that tempered sword early on Hayfield.
Tempered's a great find. I mean, even if Magno doesn't, emerge with the boss token there, I mean, probably will have boots on the next pass through.
Yeah.
So it's a pretty fast revisit, and a sword here is going to help with everything else Magno's about to do up here.
Yeah, especially with Trinex.
I'm having some lingering doubts about that vanilla big key chest.
I like lingering doubts. Sounds good.
I just don't know how to feel about it. Magno has really no reason to check it.
I mean, Magno already stood in front of it, realizing, oh wait, I can't open it.
Oh no, I mean the chest that has the vanilla big key in it.
Ah, okay.
Like, I mean, he's not going to be able to get there, and so, or at least would not have no reason to want to think you'd want to open that chest.
So maybe Magno is absolutely mad right now and finding that Mire and Lava Lake chest, which is behind the 4-star rock small key on Desert Palace here right now. Which
Yeah,
also wouldn't help him quite much anymore, because Hayfield would just find that soon then himself if it's required.
Yeah, I'll definitely say that the odds are very heavily stacked against Magno here, but there's still a couple of small things. Still some small glimmers of hope. But Hayfield Bay needs to do a lot of throwing in order to, let this one get out of hand.
Is it hope if you have to hope for your opponent to suffer? It's mean.
Well, it's not so much that they have to suffer, they just have to suffer in the right way.
Okay, fair.
I mean, because, you kind of expect both you and your opponent to suffer. That's
Yeah, that's true. That's true. So you don't feel so bad. Like
maybe not the best
I
way
don't
to be
have to
invested.
suffer alone. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Oh, Magno skipping the Mire here.
So
Yeah,
the mirror confirmed, huh?
We're just being silly in case someone just joined. Just hoping for the longest race possible.
Well, Hayfield doing his best to try to avoid the longest race ever, finishing up Desert Palace here, having gathered all the remaining items needed to do so, and is probably marching on to GT right now.
Definitely. We
Well,
may even could play an unofficial official GT big guessing game here.
I mean, at this point, you kind of expect it to be there, right? I guess get your numbers in chat, folks, because, you could have a shot at maybe being 1 in 22. Well, what are you thinking, Brogor? What's your guess?
I'm usually going with 10. I also like the 27, which then would be like Swamp, I guess.
I think, oh yeah, because you could, no, I think 23, because it's going to be in that Turtle Rock big key chest.
Third Rock Big Key in the Third Rock Big Key chest? Or what?
The GT big key.
Yeah, GT.
But yeah, so I mean, plenty of hilarity on the table for GT itself. We are walking in with 3 small keys for Hayfield.
Oh, Hayfield is not believing. But, I mean, this 2 checks you can quickly backtrack. It wouldn't hurt if you left the GT Big Key here earlier. Because you've never been here, actually. So, why not doing this now?
Go check out that indoor hook speed, though. You'll love to see that.
Oh, Red Bump is the thing, right?
Yeah, I suppose there's 1 or 2 oddballs sitting out there still. We didn't see the magic bat, right?
No, we never. We didn't. The Desert Biggie was on blind, so he took that last chance of the magic bat from us there.
Alright, well, it begins. Here's that crystal cutscene as we are about to enter into Ganon's Tower, Hayfield Bay. within striking distance of closing this one out and getting one up here against Magno to tie the series between them. Of course, would be delivering Magno's first loss of the groups phase.
Going here with a fake powder.
Was it the bow?
Or was it a bow?
I think that was Silver's right there on the right.
That's super disgusting, yeah.
Alright, well that's 2 locations down here in GT. A key expended. Hayfield, got to be careful to gather every freestanding key available to him. As Magno's going to take down Trinex here, does have boots available now. Oh, not the key.
This guy was bigly opening us the mirror.
Yeah, that mirror is extra nice because you don't have to take a death warp to get back to the entrance to save, time and keys.
It's so often like if you have no mirror on the right side, you're like, how do I get back from here? And then if I can turn down the lever there, or lever, you can fall down in the hole like 10 times. But yeah, it takes some time.
I mean, if you think about it, though, so many things have gone right for Hayfield today, and the limited number of locations that mirror could realistically be. Not a bad bet.
True.
I stopped counting. What was it? 6 on the right, 7 with the torch, and then these 4.
Exactly, and there's the last hot smoky, PT smoky. So we're like on 11 now.
Yeah, so we're very solid there on that front. We're not going to have to worry about access to the rest of the dungeon, which is great for Hayfield. 12 items in. We'll take a fall here to get back to the door.
True.
Oh, I can't count. Apparently that was 11. Counting, not a requirement to be a commentator. Hey, check out the announcements channel. You could be a commentator too. Yeah. All right, business hat off.
So it's 6 on the right side, the torch 7, 4 ciphers 11, map room 12. We were good. We were right. Now it was 13.
That delay is a scam. Alrighty, 13 going on here prior to the randomizer room. Magno looking for answers here, I believe, in Thieves Town? Not Thieves Town. And 17 locations, still no big key.
Still checking the powder. If we turned there north to the King's Tomb, he would have get the better item, I guess. Unless we see a big key.
Yeah, I mean, this could still be a big moment for Magno here, and potentially the most important one of the race. With a healthy helping of luck on his side. We'll see if this magic bat is anything big.
This would be the best out for now, because Hayfield may follow the mirror now. And it's just bounce.
Well, fortunate that we have those silver arrows, and Hayfield did not commit to a full left today, as he will not have left anything behind with this route. And certainly a faster way to fight this boss.
Definitely.
$20.21, and it's not here.
Maybe we have one left.
Oh, right. 21, and then the 22 is the one that we like to meme about.
We have the crowd favorite left, yeah.
I mean, at this point, I don't know how good I feel about finding it here, even. Because, you got to think, like, even though we know that Hayfield is in a commanding position, it's totally reasonable that somebody could have followed a relatively similar logical progression. Hayfield picked the right starting dungeon. That's really the early story of this race.
True. For a second, I got like, oh, Magno found a big key here, but yeah, it's a Thieves Town big key just mentioned like 1 minute ago.
And that big key does start to kind of, pull the puzzle together a bit for Magno, but still missing a couple critical items.
yeah, it's like still a very, very long seat, and we all know we have to go back to Ice Palace pictures, which is like super disgusting.
There it is.
Oh wow! Did somebody say 22? Would you really feel bad now in Hayfield's position? I wouldn't feel bad.
I don't know though. I mean, because like you expect your opponents to kind of be right in step with you, and it's not like nobody would ever do tile room, but maybe somebody walks in here with less keys and they don't want to spend an extra one. There are reasons someone might do that.
This will be an insane good time for the amount of things done and dungeons cleared and relatively late boots, and also inverted with a super nasty start.
Yeah, by the looks of things, we've only skipped one location in Turtle Rock and all of Swamp Palace. Hayfield may have done almost every single other check. What was it, Hera Basement we didn't see?
Yeah, we have not the Smoky, so we couldn't even see that if we wanted to. And we didn't see the magic bed, right? On Hayfield. Everything else.
Correct.
And we didn't see the Smith chain on his
Oh, wow.
side. But I assume if he didn't find anything now, this would be his next shot. Or maybe the mirror, which we find in. I would follow this first.
Yeah, that mirror and right side GT was just a really convenient place for Hayfield. Nice to have that opportunity to just come right back to the entrance.
Yeah.
Well, having a great gauntlet, making great use of the fire rod, not even going to stop for the magic refill. With half magic, don't blame him.
You can get another magic refill upstairs, so... Yeah, it's the best equipment we have in the climb, I think. Like, boots, fire rod, and temper sword.
Well, Hayfield's got a commanding position to take this win today. Magno still kind of searching for those remaining answers. You got to think in that position that if you're Magno in these shoes, it's tough to think that you're still in this race.
Yeah, I mean you have to follow Hayfield's mindset, like being 1-2 in the series, and then starting with a huge play like that, which also could have backfired with a 3-minute fight against Vitty. Which, sick. The reward was just sick. So, well gambled, well deserved. Strong played, definitely.
And just to kind of paint a picture of this Group N, for any of you who may have joined late, we talked about it earlier in the race. The current standings going into this one: Magno 2 wins, no losses, no ties. Late Bit 2-2. Aussie 101 2-1. 1 and 2. I get this backwards. 1 win, 2 losses, and Hayfield Bay with 2 losses and 1 win as well. So this will give Hayfield Bay a position over Aussie so far in the groups and tie him up with Late Bit. We are definitely shaping up to have a very close tiebreak scenario between the members of this group. And of course, if you want to, catch all of the tournament action, see everything that's going on, there are a lot of new features kind of going on in the tournament right now. You can now see events in the Discord for the tournament to see which matches are coming up, and you can even give yourself a reminder with saying I'm interested. If you want to see the rest of this series between all of the members of Group N, that's probably your best bet.
Yeah, I have to agree. This new feature is super decent. Like the reminder is one hell of a good tool, and yeah, it's neat designed, good designed.
And on top of that, you can always follow all the SpeedGaming channels, a link to the past Randomizer channels. You're going to see fun stuff going on every day. We've been restreaming a lot of matches, so this is certainly not the end of Group N. A lot to see here, and I think both of these two still stand a really strong chance of emerging from the group. Magno still in a favored position, but Hayfield, despite the long lead that he has in this race, still has to finish Ganon, dropping in now.
Yeah, it's exactly what Hayfield needed, and yeah, what you said, we would have need if we want that sick tiebreaker to happen. So, yeah.
Alright, he's searching for a 1-1 here for Hayfield Bay. Good sword slashes. Gets through phase 1, no problem. Phase 2, looking good too. I didn't count exactly how many slashes, but barring a Oh, looks like we were going to do a 1 and 2 here, but still a good fight so far. Has to watch his health.
Yeah, just hold the wall. Getting invulnerability, don't losing magic. Why not? You can always do that.
All right, phase 3 well underway. Silver arrows in hand, tempered sword. We're in good shape. Hayfield's going to sink 4 of them into Ganon with plenty in the quiver. Silver's your true weakness. Didn't have to go searching too far.
No.
Showed up in the path.
Hayfield going for the torch glitch here.
Yeah, it
Could
doesn't
be a
have a
double.
ton of magic.
Yeah, this is like super nice time for the amount of things done. 145, like. And GG's to our first finisher, Hayfield Bay, in the chat. And yeah, sick race. Strong.
Excellent Triforce text for this one. Of course, you can submit your own Triforce text in the tournament server. Look around in the pins to find that. But that's a GG. Get them in chat for Hayfield Bay, who finishes in first place today with a time of 1 hour, 44 minutes, and 51 seconds. GG. Well, we'll see if we can get Hayfield Bay in the booth here for a quick chat. In the meantime, let's continue cheering on Magno as he's emerging from Desert Palace, having just finished Land Molus, and looks to be heading back towards Ice Palace, if I'm seeing this right.
Yeah, I think it's the last possible item.
Yeah, I don't believe we left anything in Palace of Darkness that wasn't already
The big
checked.
chest, right? Maybe the big chest.
Yeah, that might be the one thing that he can do still. And okay, so we're going to see Ice Rod Cave first. All right, looks like we are joined by the victor of the race today, Hayfield Bay. GG.
GG, Hayfield.
GG's.
Oh, we were just lectured that Magno can't join Ice Palace from the Light World. True.
Can you hear me?
Yes, very good. Hello, and GG's again.
Yeah, that was a scary, shaky Vitreous fight.
Yeah, I was like stopping to breathe there when you died, and like, oh, he still has that fairy, he still has that blue potion. Super nice, super good choice, and super strong executed.
To be honest, I wasn't ready for that. I have played plenty of inverted keys, but this time with the active flute, I didn't like that forced Vitreous fight there. But thankfully, we got 2 bottles, and that really helped me. It could have been very nasty if I died there and to go back in later.
Yeah, we saw what you guys were finding, and we were like, if we find a sword in Palace of Darkness now, this is Vitreous in logic. So yeah, guess what? Absolutely required.
Yeah, to be honest, Ice Palace felt better, but I knew that, okay, I'd rather go to a full clearable dungeon because I don't think we had the big key to Ice Palace by then. So when I got the Ice Palace big key later, I went straight there and I said to myself, please be something in the Ice Palace big chest. That might be huge. And there's the bowl. My god.
Yeah, this was the also the double cross. I don't know, like say can death sentence for Magno a bit. Magno last located the Moon Pearl and has not found the bow yet on restream though.
Yeah, that was it's very nasty. It's very nasty. If you do Ice Palace without the big key, it is last location. So putting the bow there, it's very ugly for Magno.
Well,
Yeah,
this is enough to dethrone him from a undefeated status. How does that feel, Hayfield?
Yeah, I feel that I needed this win, so then I have a chance to make it to the brackets if I just win the rest, if I lost this, I could have still managed to get to the brackets, but I would have needed help with the other opponents, I think.
Yep, definitely. So this is why I also said that your call on Viti that early was super strong. Also a bit risky, maybe, as we said before. Ice Palace, maybe the smart play, which it wasn't in this seed, but yeah, it worked out. It's what you needed. Yeah, it's well deserved.
Yeah, I really, yeah, with this active flute, I knew that. Oh no, we got access to Ice Palace. We got access to Mire. I could also by then go up to Turtle Rock. Check the front.
Yes, you could, because you had the fire rod already. You could have like done the. No, you didn't have the sword at that point. I think you had no sword.
When I got the sword from Palace of Darkness, I realized that because I had been up there once. I was actually going into Turtle Rock, but then I realized I don't have a sword.
Yeah, we were already planning ahead your routes. Oh yeah, Hayfield can now go to Turtle Rock, and the chat be like, "Yo, moderators, we don't have a sword." Oh yeah, true.
That's absolutely true.
Well, there's certainly a lot of opportunities to have a whoops moment in terms of just remembering everything. In this format, you got key sanity, things are inverted. Props to you and your opponent Magno today for even being able to keep it all together in your minds, because that is quite the stressful thing to do on SG.
Definitely. This is probably the most stressful mode. Yeah, because inverted can give you these nasty starts, low percent, but at least we had 2 bottles, and that really helped.
Yeah, Magno accidentally tried to death warp right at the start of the game in Thieves Town, and thus he lost his ferry. I don't know, did it cost him anything in late game? Not sure, but he had not that survivability when you were both at the same time in Maya. Magno just bailed after the 7th item while you advanced, and he then went to Ice Palace after 7 items. And he had that map. I don't know if you were aware of that. He knew it was a pendant. So for him, it was way more attractive to leave after 7 items and just focus on Ice Palace.
Of course. I would have last located Vitreous probably. If I knew it was a pendant, I would have thought, yeah, we'll do the other things first, and then if it is required, we'll get there. So when I got the Moon Pearl and the pendant, so I was so glad I got the Moon Pearl there. Imagine pendant, 20 rupees.
Well, taking a look at the race time room, it looks like Magno chose to forfeit out. We do actually have Magno here in the booth with us. GG.
Yeah, I did forfeit. GG's Hayfield. Oh boy.
GG's Magno.
I just wanted to look for the bow while I did forfeit. No.
Oh, I don't blame you.
Did you find it?
Yeah.
What was it?
but I also asked Hayfield where it was, but I only had Ice Palace Big Chest left, so. Yep.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Is like really the story of this race entirely was just checking everything ever. We see a 174 out of 216 out of Hayfield stats here.
I had lots of heart attack checks. I mean, I died at Castle Tower. If there was the Moon Pearl, I was, it was not good for me. Or, like, I had a few deaths or not good moments or checks which I left out, and all of those were really bad to come back to. I put off like bunny walking for such a long time, and then I put off purple chest for such a long time, and yeah, I didn't want anything to be on those checks, and apparently at some point somewhere had to be something. I don't know.
I mean, bunny walking gave you 2 Skyward small keys, and you'll be like, oh, okay, then there's just a 3rd small key maybe in pot, and I just go for the muscular fight now, which was perfectly fine. Hayfield also did that, but without the small keys. But yeah, both did an absolute nice muscular fight. Hayfield's fight was super, super nice. nothing much to add at this point of the Skywoods encounter here. But yeah, the Moon Pearl was nasty, and we just talked to that about with Hayfield. Like, you were both at the same time in Misery Mire. You bailed, you know yourself. Hayfield stayed and went on. He didn't lose his ferry, which you unfortunately lost quite early in Thieves Town. Yeah, and he had also bought that blue potion, and so was able to tackle down the eye guy and get his Moon Pearl and dip Ice Palace with that big.
I don't know if I had bought bottles for before Misery Mire my first trip, but I was gonna put off Vitreous with that equipment on purpose because it was a pendant. And
Yeah, you
I
had
thought,
the map. Yeah.
So this was an intentional skip, which burned me. Yeah.
I want to start a petition and rename Vitreous Eye Guy.
Eye Guy? Okay. We're just sitting here and you just saying, oh, look, it's a map. And I'll be like, yeah, maps are so important and key and vital and good. And then, oh, look, Mire's just a pendant. Could be bad for Hayfield. Oh, look, it's a moon. But damn. Yeah, like this sums it up quite good. And you don't like that chest, I guess, on the race game.
No.
We're seeing 10 minutes into the pass, so gonna get a couple powders on there. I appreciate that. Hey, I'm definitely no stranger to rage slashes, so that's more creative than me by a lot.
Well, thanks.
All right, but I know that everybody watching today really enjoyed watching this race because this was a lot of fun things about Inverted Key Sanity. I want to know. I know the two of you have finished your matches together against each other in this group. I guess I'll start with Magno. Do you have any other matches on the schedule already?
Yes, I have late bit on Sunday and on next week's Saturday also late bit. What's it called in EDT time? I think it's
minus 6 hours from our time.
Then it should be like 2 p.m. EDT, both matches.
Yes.
This Sunday and next Saturday.
I really admire your conversion skills, and I'm sorry that rando time is East Coast United States. Well, so and then of course, have you already raced against Aussie already?
I have one win against Aussie.
So we're still looking for one more out of that. And then I guess Hayfield, you've chomped through a lot of your matches so far. What do you have left on the schedule?
I have 2 races left. With both against Aussie. It will be Saturday, tomorrow, and Sunday at noon EDT time.
Well,
that will be my last 2 races.
Even if for some reason the rest of the Group N action doesn't end up on Restream, you can, of course, as we talked about earlier, check out the tournament Discord and look at the events to get a multi-stream link for anything that isn't covered on broadcast. Of course, we encourage you to always stay tuned to these channels. To see as much of the Restream action as possible, but I gotta say it was my pleasure to be on mic today with Brogor, and of course, to thank Crom for doing our tracking today. Got any closing thoughts, guys? Starting with Hayfield.
Yeah, it was a fun seed. As long as you make that Vitreous fight, so it will be exciting to see what happened with my 2 races against Aussie. So it's pretty free group now, I think. So everything can happen. So and GG's again. Thank you for the restream.
Yeah, GG's Hayfield. I think it's a pretty even group as well, and good luck for your races. Thanks for putting on the restream, everyone. Like Brogo and Oida Monistic for doing comms for this race. Crom for tracking. You are the MVPs, and Drosy for putting on this restream. Thanks everyone, and have a nice day.
Happy to echo those sentiments. And if you're looking for more randomizer action, of course, there is this channel in about half an hour or so. We have Matcap versus Titos. Starting like right now-ish on SpeedGaming 3, you got Skeeter versus Humbug. And then we have more matches going on into the evening. SG2 at 5:10 Eastern. SG on this channel at 5:10. And plenty more going into your Friday evening or Saturday morning, depending on what your offset is on time zones. I want to apologize for being so Amerocentric with this tournament, but we're grateful to have everybody.
I mean, the software comes from here, so it's the core. We have to deal with that.
Well, hey, it's our pleasure anyway, and that's most of what I had to say. Of course, if you're interested in volunteering, check out the tournament server, the announcements. Got little applications if you want to do any of the roles. This is a tournament built on the backs of volunteers, and runners are more frequently than not part of that volunteer list, but you can be too. So that's about all I had to say. I'll let you close this out for us, Brogor.
Yeah,
It's a
I
pleasure
want to
commentating.
say thank you especially to you for having me on your side as my wingman, because this was my first debut commentary on English here. And yeah, I'm looking forward to do this again. And I enjoyed this amazing race and the amazing skill of Hayfield and Magno. Thanks for Crump again. Thanks to the community for helping us out in chat. And see you all and have a nice weekend.
Alrighty, folks, check out SG3 starting now. Later, folks.